Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Am I the a-hole for wanting my mum to stop sleeping with my boyfriend's dad? Posted by a throwaway account. Hi everyone, I know from the title this may sound a little odd, so here's the background. I, 20 female, found out that my parents, 53 male and female, are swingers about a year ago. Ever since, they've been pretty open about it with me, excluding details of course. My mum and I are really close, so we talk about some of her friends sometimes, and I've always been open to and supportive of their lifestyle. If anything, it's made my parents' perfect, almost untouchable relationship seem more real, and I started seeing them as more human. It's definitely improved our relationship and created a different level of understanding. I shared more details about my life with them, and so did they. Now, fast forward to a few months ago. My mum told me that one of her friends, who she insisted was only a friend, has a son that she really wants to introduce me to. She said he's kind, sweet, and overall a really great guy. Of course, I jumped to the chance and was overwhelmed with excitement about the first guy my mum has ever brought to my attention. I went over to his work and introduced myself to him that same day. I hadn't even seen a picture of him, but the moment I saw him walk around the corner with his big smile, I fell in love. We fell head over heels for each other and kind of rushed into a relationship. We moved in with each other, met each other's families, and overall had a great relationship, better than either of us had ever had before. A few days ago, we were on a date, and while at dinner, the couple next to us were getting quite loud and drunk, so naturally, I listened into their conversation. I then said to my boyfriend that I thought they were swingers, which led to a conversation about the large swinger community in our area. He said he knew about it as well because his dad recently joined a few months ago. I then said, "Can I tell you something? You have to swear you won't tell anyone though." I trusted him enough to tell him about my parents being swingers. They had sworn me to secrecy, but sometimes I just need to talk to someone about it. And who would be better than him? Someone who also has a parent in the community, right? I told him that my parents were swingers, and he immediately let out a sigh of relief. This confused me, but I went on to say, "But my mum promised she wasn't sleeping with your dad. They probably met in the community now that I'm thinking about it, but they're just friends." My boyfriend had an odd look on his face, almost frustrated, and said that he needed to tell me something. Apparently, he's been beating himself up for months because my mum and his dad have been sleeping together, and told him that if he told me, I'd break up with him. Mum has been going over to his house, which is how they first met, and when we first started dating, they created an elaborate backstory for him to tell me about how they met. Ew, why was she so desperate for you to hook up with the son of one of her boy toys? That's so creepy. He said that every time I talked about my parents, he felt even more discouraged to tell me about our parents being together, because he was under the impression that I thought my parents were monogamous. He's felt guilty every day because he's had to keep this from me. On top of that, Mum has been going over there when I'm at work, turning off her location, and my boyfriend has heard them having sex. He said he was relieved to finally tell me and let this weight off his chest. I'm not gonna lie, after he told me all that, I got very angry. Mum has never lied to me before, and I felt so blindsided by this. Though, in retrospect, maybe I shouldn't have. I made my boyfriend take my phone away till I calmed down on the drive home, which was about an hour, so that I wouldn't call her all angry and be mean. I wanted our conversation to be more productive than just an argument. As we pulled up to my house, I saw his dad's car in the driveway. This started up the rage again. I went inside and asked my mum if they were still sleeping together, even though I'm with his son. Long story short, she was angry that I was angry at her and said that she got here first. She said she was sleeping with him first, so I can't be mad. I asked her to stop sleeping with him from now on, and she said that it was complicated adult stuff, so she can't just stop. Later on, she apologized for lying to me, but never said she'd stop. His dad is moving away in a few months, but am I the a-hole for wanting them to stop anyway? Personally, I'd want to know why she was so keen for you to start effing the son of the guy she was sleeping with. Like, to literally lie to you, cause she knew you wouldn't agree otherwise. Am I the a-hole for getting engaged to my ex-husband's new girlfriend's ex-husband? Posted by a throwaway account. I, 49 female, and my ex-husband, 50 male, let's call him Kevin, got divorced. The straw that broke the camel's back was when I came home with a present for him for our anniversary, and he accused me of getting it from whoever I was sleeping with and threw it away. He didn't even open the present, which was a Rolex watch that he'd looked at multiple times and expressed that he liked. I talked to a divorce attorney after this and we filed within a month and he moved out. I told my attorney about this and he wanted to know where he moved out as Kevin wouldn't list his new address. It was revealed that he moved in with his new girlfriend, 50 female, let's call her Jenny. I actually knew Jenny as our oldest kids have been in the same class since pre-K. I also knew that Jenny and her husband, 52 male, let's call him Terry, just got divorced right before us too. It took a little over a year to finalize the divorce since Kevin couldn't agree to any of the terms. A few weeks after the divorce, Kevin and Jenny went public with their relationship on a luxury beach trip. Terry sent me a friend request that I quickly accepted. I'll admit, at this moment I was being shallow because he's undeniably attractive. He's 6'3", tan from working outside on his farm, and fit. And he messaged me right after, just asking if I'd seen the post and blah blah blah. The conversation quickly turned into making plans to get dinner and drinks one night. It was Kevin's first weekend with the kids, so Terry and I went out. It sounds sappy, but in that moment, I knew this could be something. It felt natural talking to him, like I didn't have to walk on eggshells or tiptoe around things. He was the first person who actually looked at me when I was talking, and we agreed on almost everything. After we left, I invited him over, and we had a few more drinks and watched a sappy love movie, and had so much fun making fun of how unrealistic it was. Somehow, we finished a bottle and a half of wine, so I invited him to stay the night. He offered to sleep on the couch, but I told him he could sleep in the bed since I wasn't sleeping well because I wasn't used to sleeping alone. The next morning, I made us breakfast and we agreed we should do this another time and that it was great. As we were eating, Kevin texted me that he was down the road to drop the kids off. Terry rushed to get dressed and left. It felt terrible making him leave like that, and of course, the first thing Kevin asked was if he'd seen Terry's truck coming down our road. I told him nope, and he dropped the kids off and left. That was 4 years ago, and shortly after that, Terry admitted to me that he wanted a relationship, and I said yes. We kept it private all this time because it's really no one's business to know, as long as we were happy together. We just celebrated our 4th anniversary, and beginning in November, Terry started to hint that he wanted to propose and wanted me to move to his farm in another town since he lived an hour and a half away. He planned a surprise dinner with all our friends to propose to me. I couldn't believe he really did all this for me. All our friends were incredibly supportive and agreed that we seemed happy together and deserved to be happy with each other. The next day, I made a post that we were engaged. This was the first post about Terry and I on each other's pages. Right after the post, we started getting calls, texts, and Facebook messages from Jenny's family and Kevin's family. And Jenny sent a long message to Terry. She couldn't believe we would do this and didn't check with them first, and how insensitive it was to get engaged when we knew her and Kevin were on a break because of the fighting. He ignored all her messages until we both got messages from my family saying we were terrible people for getting engaged in spite of Jenny and Kevin, and how they no longer wanted to see my kids and wouldn't be attending the wedding. Terry helped me sell my house since he also works for a real estate company. We packed up all my stuff, sold all the furniture, and I moved into Terry's house. I left my job and was actually able to get a job at his company as a secretary. He has 2 sons who treat me very well. They don't call me their mum, but I don't expect them to either. But they do tell people that I'm their stepmom, and for Christmas they surprised me with a basketball mum t-shirt with their names and numbers. I couldn't stop crying after seeing it because it was so meaningful to me to see how they considered me their stepmom. Kevin had the kids for Christmas and was supposed to begin the normal split custody in January. But since January, the kids have said they don't want to see me. Kevin said he's talking to an attorney to change our custody schedule and that he wants full custody. I'm finally happy with someone that loves me, planning a very small wedding, with only friends and family that were supportive of us and our relationship. I have 2 stepsons that love me, but I feel so empty without my kids. I did take them to meet Terry, and he's been to dinner with us many times. He treated them like his own, and he never got onto them or was mean to them. I feel so conflicted about what to do. My kids won't even talk to me over the phone and refuse to see me. So, am I the a-hole for getting engaged to Terry? Edit. My kids have always known Terry and were introduced to him a year and a half after we started dating. They had no problem with us being together and knew about the engagement as Terry took them to pick out the ring. It's not like he's a total stranger to them as they've been around him multiple times and been to his house. Mini update. I was able to talk to my usual therapist about a session next week to help the kids talk and maybe help them understand the truth. There's been no update, but down in the comments, Moonlover318 says, I have a feeling that the dad convinced the kids that the mum was having an affair. Rainbow Bell says, sounds like ex-hubby was the one cheating, considering how fast he moved on. I have to agree, it's super suspicious how fast he moved on, and how he thought that she was cheating on him. It's crazy how everyone's against Terry and OP getting engaged 4 years later, but somehow we're okay with her husband and Jenny getting together right after they separated. Am I the a-hole for refusing to lend my brother money after he squandered his inheritance? Posted by Crypto Cheetah. Here's the deal. I refused to lend my brother money after he blew through his entire inheritance in less than a year. I'm the more, let's say, financially responsible one in the family. I've always been about budget, savings, and the whole 9 yards. My brother, on the other hand, lives for the moment. When our grandfather passed away, he left us both a significant amount of money. I used mine to pay off my mortgage and invested the rest for retirement. My brother? He went on a wild spending spree. Luxury vacations, a sports car, you name it. Fast forward to last week. My brother showed up at my door, looking like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's broke. The inheritance is gone. Poof. Just like that. And then comes the kicker. He's asking me for a small loan to tide him over. His family's sure, but here's the thing. I've bailed him out before. Several times actually. And it always goes the same way. He promises it's the last time, and then boom, back to square one. I told him I couldn't help this time. I said it was time for some tough love, that he needed to learn to manage his finances and deal with the consequences of his actions. He called me heartless and said family should always have each other's backs. Mum and Dad are on his side, claiming I'm being too harsh and I should help him out, just this once. I've heard that before. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Should I have just lent him the money? Or was I right to think that it's about time he learned his lesson the hard way? Not the a-hole. If you keep helping him, being his crutch, he will never take responsibility or learn to stand on his own 2 feet. You're not helping him, you're enabling him. Give him advice, a couch, but not money. And if your parents have a problem with that, remind them that he's their son, not yours. If you like this video, please let me know and subscribe for more juicy tea.